friends, and welcome back today for a brand new video. We are talking all things spring today. We're going to be doing a spring palette recommendations. I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 palettes for the spring season. It's fun because it is a collaboration with my friend Karen Harris. I was excited when she asked me if I wanted to do this video with her. She always comes up with the best video ideas, and I hadn't even thought about doing a spring palettes. I feel like spring is just feeling like it's taking forever to get here, but also creeping up on us so fast. This year has already gone by so quick. But if you haven't already subscribed to Karen's channel, please check her out. She is such a sweetheart. I love her. We talk almost every single day on Marco Polo. She's really became such a good friend to me, and she's just such a great person. She's so funny, and if you enjoy makeup content, especially indie makeup, then she is your gal. I feel like she does so many indie makeup releases. She is like on top of it. I feel like she always has like every single new indie release, and she gets her videos up so quickly. I know she always talks about how she doesn't, but she does. She uploads like crazy. So definitely check her channel out. Also, if you love colorful makeup, she is the perfect person for spring recommendations because she always has really fun, colorful makeup looks on. So please go check her out. I will have her channel and this video linked down below. She's also doing her top 10 palettes for spring, and I'm excited to see hers because I feel like she's gonna have a lot of indie makeup, and that's why I love watching her channel too, is because I always see like new products and new brands that I don't necessarily see a lot on other people's channels. So definitely check her out. Let's start now with my palettes, my recommendations. So I'll show you guys the one I almost dropped first because I feel like this is just a cute little quad I wanted to include. So I was looking through my palettes and I really wanted to include a palette that had some oranges in it because I really love oranges in the springtime. But I didn't really find one that I wanted to include that had other colors. So I was like, let me just choose this quad because I normally reach into this if I'm wanting to do an orange look. So this is from ColourPop, and this is just called the On the Mango palette. I really love these mini palettes from them. I think they're a great way to get an easy look, especially if you are someone who wants like a fun, just like colorful look. They have so many different color waves and they're easy and you don't have to think about it a lot. So like I said, I love an orange look, and if I just want a quick orange look, I just go into this palette. They also have a really pretty green one that I think would be really nice for the spring as well. You guys know I love ColourPop's formulas, so this is just an easy orange palette that I can reach into for that fun pop of orange. And then I will skip over, I have a few other ColourPop products to talk about, but I'll give them a little bit of a break and go into some others. So this is a relatively new release that came out a few months ago, but this is from Tarte. It's their Tartelette Energy palette, and I think this would be a good pickup for spring. So I grabbed this one, and this was the first Tarte palette I'd grabbed in a while. I know I did a review on this if you want to see some more looks with it, but this is one that I think would be great for spring because of the colors in here, but also the ease of use. I think a lot of times we go into palettes like this and we just know what to create because the formula in here is so easy, and I love these shimmers in here. I think that they're great. I really pigmented, very nice. The formula in here is very smooth. This kind of made me like want to try more Tarte palettes because like I said, I haven't bought from them in a while, and when I got this one I was like, I just forget how easy their mattes are, how just nice their shimmers are. Like they just have a good formula. They smell like chocolate, so I know this is one I'm going to be using a lot in the spring. I have gotten quite a few uses out of it already, so I think that one's a good one. And then also the new one from Too Faced. Now I've only used this twice, so this recommendation, I feel like I've used it enough though to know how it performs, but I did want to mention that because it is newer. So this is the Italian Spritz palette. I also have a review on this one if you want to check that out on my channel as well, but I think this is a fun spring release. I wanted to include some newer palettes in here if you are looking to shop some new palettes, but then I also have quite a few older ones if you want to kind of shop your stash and look into palettes that you may already own. But I wanted to include a couple new ones, and I think that this color story is really fun. I really liked the quality on this. Like I said, I've used it a few times now. Both times I really enjoyed my looks. It does also have a scent to it. I'm just a sucker for scented makeup, but obviously in spring we're thinking bright colors and colorful makeup, and I think this one is great for that. The formula in here is really nice, and I do think it's a good palette. I mean, I like it. So I wanted to recommend just a few newer ones to you first. So I do have one more newer one, and then we'll get into some older ones. So this one is a newer palette to me, and Karen would be so proud because this is an indie brand. This is the Odin's Eye Flora palette. This one is the Makeup Just for Fun or Amanda palette that she got to collaborate with them, and this is so pretty, and this is the perfect spring palette. Like I said, I really enjoy colorful makeup in the spring, but not too colorful. Like if I want an orange look, that's good in that other palette, but sometimes I want like a colorful look but a little muted, and I think that this palette is perfect for that because you do have these really pretty purples. So if you want to do like a purple eye, you could use the purples for that. If you wanted something green, you could do that. It does have this really pretty blue in here. The formula is very nice on this. This was my first time trying Odin's Eye, and I was very, very impressed with the formula. The quality seems really nice, and I really love the shimmers. The shimmers are so, so nice in here, so I think this palette is perfect for spring. I know it is sold out right now, but I believe they just announced a restock, so I will have links to all of the palettes that I can down below, and I'll have the restock information on this one. But so happy for my friend Amanda, and I absolutely love this palette. I think it's great. And then now let's get into some older palettes that you can kind of shop your stash for. So the first one being the Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty. This is one of my favorite palettes in my collection, and I do think it is the perfect palette to bust out in the springtime because I love a good rosy look and a pink look, and this is just perfect for that. So here is a look at this palette. It is full of rosy pink shades, and it has really fun textures in it. And I feel like when I think spring, I think lively, I think like getting out of the snow, a sparkle on my eyes, like that's what I'm thinking of, and I think this palette is perfect for it. It has such beautiful shimmers in here, and it's an easy palette to use. The formula is so, so nice, and I love this palette so much. It's one of my absolute favorites in my collection. I use it so much, so I wanted to talk about that one for a second. And then I also thought about bringing out the Michaela palettes, because I was looking at some of my palettes, and I was like, I want to bring out a few like older palettes that I think I haven't gotten too much use out of, but I think would be fun for a fun pop. And I thought of the Michaela palette, and I know a lot of people own this one, and when I was looking at it, I was like, this is a very spring palette. So inside of here, you have a very colorful palette, but you also have a lot of warm tones in here too. So if you didn't want to do like, you know, a colorful look every single day, you could pull this out and play with some of the warm tones, but obviously this has all of the color you need for spring. You have fun greens, and you have a little bit of this like mustard yellow. We've got blues in here, purples. Like I said, I love purples in the spring, lots of purples. I just feel like there is a really great variety in here, and I also really love the Glam Light formula. Their shimmers are so beautiful on the lid, like very foiled, very wet looking. I think it's a great palette, and this is one I think I myself like need to reach for this spring because it's one that I feel like I hardly ever use, but it is really good quality. So I thought that would be a good one to throw in here just to remind you guys, maybe pick it up if you haven't used it in a while. And then I wanted to talk about the Getting Fresh from ColourPop, another larger palette. This one is great for spring. I think this was last year's spring release from them. My palette looks messy, but I've gotten a lot of use out of it. I also think my daughter like dug her hands into it a little bit, but it's such a cute palette for spring. Again, you've got some fun pops in here with the greens, and you've got a few different pink shades, but it does have a lot of neutrals in here. So if you want something that's colorful but not overly colorful, I think this one would be great. I love ColourPop's formula. I think they are a great brand. They come out with a lot of really nice palettes, so I wanted to mention a larger palette from them. And then I also wanted to mention one more ColourPop palette because I love this one so much, and this one would be perfect for spring. If you watch my ColourPop ranking, this one was very, very high on the list. I love this little palette. I use it so much. This is called the Feeling Bubbly palette. And when you look at it, you're like, ugh, that just looks so basic. It does. It looks so boring, but it's so pretty on the eyes. Like, something about this palette is just so beautiful. It's the way that these shades just sparkle. The gold in here is so, so pretty, and it's just easy. It's easy. It's one of those looks that you know when you wear it, it's just gonna look effortless. It's gonna look pretty, dainty, like if you will. It just looks so nice on the eyes, and I just love this one. So I thought it would be a good one to mention as well. And then the last two, I guess these are relatively new. They're not brand new, but they did come out like earlier this year. So we have from Juvia's Place their Candy Shop collection. I thought this one would be a good one, the Candy Shop palette, because this does have a lot of fun, bright shades in here, but it's not one that I feel like is repetitive in my collection because there are some more unique shades in here. So we've got some of those swirl pans, which are really pretty. We've got some blues in here, and I don't know, I just think this one would be really fun. I personally myself am going to be using this one a lot this spring. I think it's a good palette. I know that they released this like the beginning of the winter, and I kind of was like, this isn't really my vibe right now, but I really liked the palette, so I haven't really reached into it a ton since I originally used it, but pulling this out for spring for sure because I do think it has a lot of really fun pops, and I think it'll be a good one to have in my little pile here to reach into. And then the last one that I have here is from Urban Decay, and this one is actually kind of new, so I don't know why I didn't include it in the beginning, but this one's cute. I really liked this one. So this is from the Smiley collaboration, and this is the Mucho Happy palette. And again, I really do love yellow, and I feel like this one has that really fun, bright yellow in there, but you've also got this pop of blue. It's just a cute little mini palette. I love little minis. I just feel like they're so easy to use, and again, we're going for effortless type of looks, and this one is definitely that for me. So I mean, it's not anything crazy like I'd much rather one of my bigger palettes for, you know, a colorful look if I'm going into one, but I thought I would mention this one because I do think the quality in it was nice, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of a fun palette. I like to see brands doing something different. I like that Urban Decay is kind of playing a little bit more with color, and this one isn't a bad release if you were looking into getting it. I thought I would just throw a quick mention in there for it in this video. But that is going to do it for my top 10 spring palettes this year. I, like I said, wanted to include some different ones that I don't always include. I feel like sometimes they can get kind of repetitive. I've done these videos in the past, and I'm always bringing out like my Norvina and, you know, some of the same palettes. So I feel like this time I wanted to bring out some fun new stuff. So hopefully you enjoy this one. Please don't forget to check out Karen's channel down below. Send her some love. I'll see you guys very soon with a brand new video. Bye, friends.